Hey folks, welcome back to Car Show and Tell. I'm your host, Tim the Toolman. And we got another episode here. I traded in my daily driver and I picked up a new F-150. And since I work in a filthy steel mill, I thought I'd try to do something to keep this thing from slinging as much mud and dirt and grunge on it as I possibly could. So I bought a set of mud flaps. And I ordered these off of Amazon, and they weren't labeled as Ford mud flaps. I thought they were generic plastic mud flaps, but what actually showed up was actual genuine Ford accessories, and I got them for less than what the dealership wanted for them, so I'm happy with that. Here's your part numbers: ML3Z16A550 AA for the front and BA for our rear.
There's your AA, and then that was
BA.
BA.
So,
Let me move up closer.
follow along, and you can put your own mud flaps on your 21 to 24 F-150. We're going to start at the front here with this side, and there are two 7mm bolts right here at the bottom of your fender opening. Right? The first thing you're going to do is remove those two little fender bolts. Use a 1/4-inch ratchet and a 7mm socket. And the reason I say to use small tools is because we don't have a whole lot of room to work with between our fender opening and our tire. So,
And you don't want to strip it.
right, you don't need to really tighten them up too much. So, first thing we want to do after we got those two bolts out, the kit comes with new bolts, but they are no longer than the originals that came out.
Hold your hand still so I can focus.
They're really the same length here
There you go.
as what came out, and the ones that came out have a point, and the ones that the kit comes with are snub nose, and I find that the ones with the point tend to go in back in a little bit more easily. So I'm going to reuse the two bolts that first came out. There's two holes.
Oh, come on. Stupid camera.
There's two holes in our mud flap here and here, and those line up with the two bolts that we just took out. So we're going to put our bolts back in here and here and run them back into the speed nuts that are on our plastic inner fender liner. And hopefully we can get them to find some purchase and bite into our speed nut. And it's being stubborn, so you might have to grasp the plastic fender liner and try to pull it forward a bit and get that to bite.
Okay, it's gone. The camera's gone blue. Never mind.
Blue.
Yeah, it like a real blue hue. Just fix itself, but
Well, we're kind of running out.
Well,
low on light.
we're running low on light.
Can you turn the light on?
Yeah, here we go. Let's try that. There we go. Is it bothering you in your face at all or no?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, that one doesn't want to grab. Let's try this one. That one grabbed. So, let's try this one again. Did it grab? Yes, it did. That one grabbed. So we'll set this to tighten. Nope, that's loosen. There we go. And we're going to tighten these two bolts back up. And it says to use 19.5 inch-pounds of torque, which is basically barely tight. It's really not a whole lot of force. So we're going to barely snug these bolts. That's all the tighter we need to make them. They weren't very tight when I took them out. They were barely snug. So I'm just gonna barely snug them again when they go back in. We'll push up on this, make sure our mud flaps tucked up nice and tight. There we go. Just snug those two up.
And then we can move on to the top clips.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Just snug. All right. Now there's two flaps up here that just fold around the sheet aluminum fender here. This flap and this flap. And you're going to fold those over, and then you're going to secure them with these two little metal clamps that come in a kit. Okay? You just fold that around, and it takes a little bit of elbow grease. You just pop them over that folded material. Right. Come on. Right, like so.
And that's the front.
And there's our front. We'll move on to the rear.
Like nothing happened. Wait.
Okay.
Same store for the rear. Careful.
Grief.
You alright?
Okay. It's a little different for the rear. Okay. You want to get closer here. On the rear side, we have two plastic push pins. One here and one down here on the bottom. Okay?
I don't know if I can see it. Yeah, I can kind of see it.
Come in here. Come in here and shoot down, maybe. Okay?
Oh, yep, right there. You can see
So,
it.
there's two little push pins. One here, one that comes up from the bottom. Okay? And then back here, halfway back, along here, on the underside, if I can shoot it, there's my finger. There it is. There's another plastic push pin. There's the head of it. Okay? That's about halfway back. Come on, phone. And you got to pull that push pin out. Okay? I'll get my plastic pry tool here and start working these out. Come on. There's one. Hey, takes a little bit of force. That was the bottom one. Whoops. There's the other one. Now this one part way back. Get your tool under the head of it and start prying down. And I've found this one was a little more difficult. At least it wasn't the other side. I broke my pry tool.
Uh-oh. Pliers? Where are the pliers?
So much for my Amazon plastic pry tools. These might have been Harbor Freight. I don't know.
I think they were Harbor Freight.
Well, that's where these bent pliers tend to come in handy. You can grab it. And there we go. Now that's out. Okay. Let me get our back flap. Here's our mud flap. And the instructions that we're going to ignore.
As always.
And our hardware. Okay.
Uh-oh.
We got a bracket here that's going to get installed. They're marked left and right. They're stamped. One's left, the other will be stamped R for right. And then we have some assorted hardware and the like. Okay, we have some speed nuts. Some speed nuts, some more of these push clamps, and some 7mm bolts and one 10mm bolt. And we have the corresponding speed nuts. These are the 7mm, and then this one is the 10mm. So let's get started. The first thing that we're going to need to do is get 2 of our 7mm speed nuts, and we're going to push that over the sheet metal where our holes were that our original push pins went through, our plastic push pins. Okay, there's 2 holes here. There's actually a third hole. You can feel it back here when you put your finger in there, and that gets a 7mm speed nut over that hole. There's no hole in our plastic here, so we're gonna have to eyeball that,
make one,
and make sure that we got our speed nut in the right place. Okay. We're gonna fit our flap up. We're going to take one of these 7mm bolts that comes with the kit, and we're going to run it into the far hole furthest away from you, facing the tire, through everything and into that speed nut. Alright, and we're going to start, socket. We're going to start to tighten that one up. Okay. Now I'm going to tuck this thing up nice and tight. I'll tighten this bolt up. I'll get it. Relax. It's fine. Once this bolt starts to tighten up, I'll move it back.
Okay.
Okay. Tuck that up. And we'll snug this bolt up. There we go. That's snug.
Looks a little more than snug.
Snug.
It looks
Okay.
a little more just on camera.
Now we got 2 of these plastic flaps on this as well that we're going to tuck around our fender opening here.
Or they,
Get our little-
pinch weld, rather.
Get our pinch clips. Fold this around. And place our pinch clip on it. If I can. There we go. That looks good. And now I said we need to make a hole for that other bolt. Okay? Right here. There's already a hole in the mud flap for it. Okay? So just make sure that our speed nut's lined up. And since we're working in tight quarters, this is what I'm going to do. I got a plumber's map torch. I have a center punch.
Fire.
And I have a lighter in my pocket somewhere.
Is the gas on?
Gas is on. Alright. Come on. Get out of there. Now, I'll take that.
Because you can't trust me with it.
Yeah. And always be careful when you're using open flame. Don't scorch your truck.
I was about to say, always.
I'm just going to heat the tip of this punch up. Right? Yeah, it's nice and warm. I'm going to kill my flame, get rid of that. And just carefully melt a hole for our bolt to go through. Using the hole in the mud flap as a guide. Then we can place a bolt through it, I think. Ooh, maybe I didn't melt my hole well enough. Let's try that again. Lighter and torch.
Fire is not always the answer, but it's easier.
Fire is not always the answer, but today it's the answer. Let's warm this bag up. Okay, there we go. Do a hole in our sheet metal. And a bolt. Let's try it again. There, you got it that time.
I was wondering what the blowtorch was for.
Well, now you know. Okay, modern problems require modern solutions.
I think the fire's been around for...
Fire. It's
Dude,
only been around for,
fire's only been around for millions of years.
you know, since the beginning of the millennium. Or the beginning of the universe, really.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the sun's just a great big ball of fire, so really it's been around for forever.
Exactly. And now we'll snug up our second bolt. There you go. Nice and snug.
And there you have it.
Now, we
But
have
that's
this
not it.
bracket here, right? And this bent end goes against the back side of your mud flap. There's another ear back here.
Camera up there.
Yeah. There's another ear here. It sticks back with a hole in it for a bolt to pass through.
Is that for the other angles back here? Okay.
So, we're going to take this bracket, our 10 millimeter speed nut is going to go this way with the threads facing up. And then our last 7 millimeter speed nut, if I can find it, where'd it go? I don't see it now. Oh, I already placed it. I already placed it on here. Yeah, I placed it on that sheet metal like a dummy. I shouldn't have put that there. That doesn't go there. This speed nut goes right here, this away, with a threaded part facing the rear bumper of the truck. So threads up, this threads towards the rear bumper. Okay? And this bracket is going to go up behind here. Can you see it?
Yep.
Like so. Up inside the fender, back here. And then behind the mud flap on this end. And we can run our 7 millimeter bolt in here and get this started. And then back here, halfway through, where we took out our plastic.
It's down there somewhere, folks, believe me.
Where we took out our plastic push pin halfway back, we're going to run that bolt up through the bracket, through the bracket and through that speed nut. You might have to kind of lay down and work by braille. You want to hand me that?
Hand me what?
Camera.
No, the camera. Okay.
And here's our bracket, the way that it's supposed to be installed. Okay, up on top of the rear bed side like this, and behind our mud flap like so. And we're going to tighten those two bolts up, the 10mm and the 7mm. Okay,
And then you have my beautiful face.
yeah. And I'm going to tighten the small one first, because A, because that's what's already on my ratchet, and B, because I'd rather have the rear bolt fall naturally where the mud flap wants it, rather than bend the mud flap to the bracket that I've already tightened up back there, you know. And there we go. That's snugged up.
Now, why does this brace need to be here?
That's just the way the kit is.
Mm.
That's the way it comes. That's that. So if you're out hot dogging and throwing mud all over the place, it doesn't bend your mud flap.
Or break it off.
Supports it. Alright.
Yeah, kind of a dumb question, but.
Well, you're young yet. You got a lot to learn. I guess the engineers thought it deserved a little bit of reinforcement. And there we go.
Snug.
And then one last thing, where we took that plastic push pin out of the bottom here in the front, there's another one in the kit. You just put up through the mud flap and up through that hole. There we go. And that's it, folks. So there you have it. If you got a 21 to 24 F-150 and you want to throw some mud flaps on it, try to keep your truck a little cleaner, there's a way to do it. Alright, folks. Appreciate you tuning in. And thanks for watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, ring the little bell thing or whatever it is. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.